Testing, testing. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, looks like we're back. Welcome back to WKOZ Camp Cosmographia Radio. We're still in the midst of a supernatural disaster. It's doing strange things to our radio equipment. Things got weird back there in the woods. But thankfully, Trail Guide Megan got us out.
Whew. It isn't always easy to get out of the My Story woods. Sometimes there are twists and turns you just don't expect. But I just focused on the path I carved to the High Bridge when I was writing my first book. For those of you who've never been to the High Bridge, it's my favorite haunt. It's a bridge that connects many parts of camp, and it represents hybrid writing, my favorite. Okay, so my workshop for this autumn camp is called Sell Your Soul Stories. And in this class, we're going to try and focus on a moment in your past that was intense or frightening or scary or maybe shameful, because we all share those moments. The first thing that we're going to do is select that moment, make that choice. And then after we select the moment, we're going to dig up some sensory details to try and tell that story in the best way. Doing this, I think, can help us transfer what we were feeling in that moment to the reader so we can help them feel something too. So for step one, we're going to choose that snapshot from our past, a moment that felt extremely intense, maybe scary. Whew, I've never heard the slipstream move so fast. Oh, here we are. Let's gather in this little dry area under the bridge to get away from the wind. Okay, that's better. So, sell your soul stories. What does that even mean anyway? To me, soul stories are those moments when you were intensely filled with emotion. All of your senses may have been heightened, electrified, and this could have come from something outside of you, something external, like the weather. Or it could have come from inside of you, something internal, like a deep-seated fear. This class can serve as kind of a gentle guide to go through that process and pin down one moment that really will stand out as a soul-selling story. I think this can really make for great writing, and not just poetry, but also fiction, creative nonfiction, really any scene where you want to pack a punch.
Can I give it a try?
Oh, Camper Becky, sure. Do you have a moment in mind?
I do.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, once I was on the top of a mountain in early autumn, sitting near the edge, when I suddenly realized I was really, really high up, and it was getting dark, and I wouldn't be able to make it back down in the light.
Oh, perfect. I like that. That's an external force sort of scaring you, like the darkness coming on. So, thinking about that, the first thing that we're going to do is warm up by making a list for 4 columns with our senses: see, touch, hear, and feel. Under each of those, we're going to use words or short phrases to describe what you were feeling, smelling, hearing, and seeing at this particular moment in time. You might want to consider the risk that this person is taking just to get up here. Maybe they're feeling fright just being up there by themselves. We're going to take about 3 minutes and just start jotting down some of those sensory details that you felt in that moment.
Okay, I see a darkening sky, also shadows on the land below, a setting sun. a rising moon, the cliff and rocky paths in front of me. I hear silence, but also a rush rustling in the breeze, birds, wildlife, either overhead or in the distance. I smell damp earth, sweat, feel the air, cold breeze, the unevenness of the earth below my feet, the cold stone or earth that I'm sitting on, and that sense of the heat retreating. Like I can just feel the cold kind of creeping in, the temperature dropping a little bit as time passes, and being aware of that.
Ah, I love that, Camper Becky. What else?
Everything below her, me, is so tiny. Funny, I'm already becoming a her. And the memory is becoming a story. The rocks in front of her are cold and wet, slippery, mossy. There's lots of clouds and fog rolling in and out at the stars and moon.
So, what makes this moment truly intense for her? What is the pinpoint? Is it just fear of not making it back down in time? Well, maybe her own thoughts of mortality could be internal.
Yes, being up there so high, smelling the early fall air, just the moisture and everything in the clouds, they almost have like that vapor smell, and then just feeling small compared to the whole earth. I'm curious about what it might feel like to fly off that cliff, or maybe like lonely, maybe just like feeling epic out there, experiencing this for the first time, but also alone, being sort of nervous or scared about it. But I also felt really alive.
Ooh, Camper Becky, you did it. Test 2 is complete as far as I'm concerned. The wind has died down, at least a bit. Megan, take it on home.
There you go. A mini workshop completed. Lots for Becky to work with that can be turned into nonfiction, fiction, or kind of anything in between. After all, we are at the High Bridge, the place where all genres meet. Come on back at 10:30 Eastern on October 14th for my autumn camp workshop, Sell Your Soul Stories. Let's save camp. Passing the lantern back to you, Nina. Bring us home for the last workshop talk.
Okay, as always, everyone close. Thank the gods of camp for this lantern. She's steady and bright. First, I want to say that the last workshop of the day is not the last event of the day. We're having a closing campfire at the end of autumn camp, full of readings and original songs set to early American Gothic stories and poems. You don't have to be a writer to come. You just have to enjoy hearing some Poe, some Irving, and some other Gothic writers on an October night. But for now, our final workshop, The Devil's in the Details. Whatever type of writing you are working on, it can always be made more satisfying to the reader if you know how to offer them a sense of discovery. Setups and reveals are an aspect of foreshadowing, using seemingly minor details early in a story that actually become important plot points later. A process that takes a little extra work for the writer, but is very satisfying to readers. In this class that I'm teaching, we'll discuss examples of setups and reveals from commonly known stories and try out some together in a sample story. Then you'll draft a satisfying setup and reveal for your own piece of writing.
Did you feel that? It's almost like something tried to Grab me.
Okay, quick. Into the lodge. Groundskeeper Dan. Dan? Groundskeeper Dan. Groundskeeper Dan? Anybody here? Groundskeeper Dan, what's your 20? All right, everybody stay here. I'm gonna go look for Groundskeeper Dan.
I don't think you should go out there alone.
I'll be right back. Promise. All right, everyone out there listening, this is a code orange. I repeat, a code orange. But we have a plan to save camp, and you can be a part of it. On October 14th, 2023, come to Autumn Camp, a celebration of spooky season storytelling with online workshops from published authors and talented teachers. Spend the day with like-minded writers exploring villains, unreliable narrators, mining personal scary stories, atmospheric gothic settings, strategic storytelling, and end the day with a cozy live reading of our favorite early American Gothic stories and poems, readings of Poe, Washington Irving, Emily Dickinson, Edith Wharton, and more by your faithful trail guides, groundskeeper, and camp director. Come to as many or few events as you want. All are free, though donations are greatly appreciated. Register at the website. WKOZ Camp Cosmographia Radio is a production of Cosmographia Books. Today's story was written by Nina Alvarez with contributions from Megan Greenbaum and Brianna Hayes. It was performed by Nina Alvarez, Megan Greenbaum, Rebecca. It was performed by Nina Alvarez. It was performed by Nina Alvarez, Megan Greenbaum, Becky Francione, and Daniel Hurd. Everyone knows that camp friends are the best kind of friends. Become our camp friend by connecting with us on Instagram at Camp Cosmographia Radio. This has been Camp Director Nina with WKOZ Camp Cosmographia Radio, signing off. Okay, enough. We get it.